These are the 3 essential lessons that I wish I knew when I was first waking up, and they're going to totally change your direction and how you navigate on the spiritual awakening journey. I can guarantee it. Okay, guys, so spiritual awakening is not a new topic to me. If you are new here, I have been on the awakening path journey since 2011. I have listened to countless stories of spiritual awakening and what I love to call awakening stories. And over the years, I've learned so much about what is Kundalini awakening, what is spiritual awakening. And I can even safely say, as I start to write a book that's going to be a spiritual awakening guide map, and I'm so excited to share it with you, is that when we understand spiritual awakening in the beginning, it can often feel so overwhelming, confusing, perplexing, and you can even feel very crazy. And I'll tell you what, these are the 3 lessons that I wish someone would have told me, because it would have helped me so much in how to get rid of the trial and error and to start really helping myself when it comes to spiritual awakening. So let's dive into exactly what they are. Okay, guys, so let's face it. If you're new to spiritual awakening, I have to tell you that angel numbers, numerology, synchronicity, understanding how to be high vibe, raising your consciousness, these are only just the beginning surface level things when it comes to spiritual awakening. I can remember very easily that around 2011, I remember there was so much obsession with what at the time was called Merkabas and light bodies, and understanding crystals and how crystals activate our energy, and understanding frequencies and all of this stuff related to channeling. And then it was around 2012, there was like this huge upheaval about the Mayan apocalypse and, the 2012 paradigm, and basically all of this different stuff around listening to intergalactic channelings. And then there was all of these different stories around 2012. And so there's so many things here where it can be really easy to get stuck in the fluff. And I drank the New Age Kool-Aid too. And, while I think over the years, I really was a part of the New Age world. And I don't want to discredit it because, it was literally what I needed at the time. And I think over the years, I've gotten to a point of I don't know where I belong, because I don't really belong in that space anymore. But I also don't really belong in a lot of these other spaces either. And I think because of that, I have so much more of a unique spin to bring to the table when it comes to these topics. And I really just want to share that with you, because if you are new to my world and you're just completely new to spiritual awakening, I think it's so important to preface this that, I'm not new to the journey. And on top of it, when I first started this spiritual awakening blog, The Awakened State, it started out as a Tumblr blog. And there was only 11 people following, but I was determined to share my truth. And over the years, it's grown to right now, it is at 60,000 people. I don't post there as much anymore, but throughout those years, I heard so many stories that reaffirmed to me that this is real, that this is truth, that this is happening. That this is happening to so many people around the world. And because of this, we have to recognize that it's okay to feel exactly as you feel right now, because you have to also realize that it's normal. And right now, it might not feel normal. Right now, it might feel scary, weird, crazy, euphoric, blissful, frightening, terrifying, mind-bending. You're feeling all the feels for a reason. And as your mind starts to normalize this concept, I want to give you 3 key lessons that have drastically helped me, so that way you can walk away from this video making your own decisions, of course, but recognizing that these are the things that really, really help. And that's what I really want to share with you today in terms of knowing these key lessons better. So the first lesson that I think is just so powerful And it's we're talking like 3 years ago that I've really started to understand this. So we all are where we are. Is your intuition is a massive key when it comes to spiritual awakening. And it helps you fully understand your natural intuitive gifts and your purpose. When I first was coming into this space, there was so many ways where I felt so overwhelmed and confused on what was happening to me. And a big missing piece that I later discovered is it was my intuition fully turning online in a way that I never experienced before, or I was completely unconscious to. And so when I began to understand my intuition better, things started to make sense in a way that they've never made sense before. And so knowing your intuition is one of the best things you can ever do for yourself for your spiritual awakening journey. And many of us, and I will be the broken record and say that many of us have grown up suppressing this part of ourselves. And then we have a spiritual awakening and it turns on full blast. And what occurs, especially if you've had a Kundalini awakening, is all these beautiful abilities, all these beautiful things start to occur and they are terrifying or they're wildly confusing. You're learning how to work with them and activate them, such as clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, all of the clairs. Because what occurs is your intuition starts to turn on at full blast because you're opening up, as I like to say, you're opening up your higher chakras and higher faculties in the mind is what Bob Proctor calls them in Napoleon Hill. And what's occurring is you don't realize that your intuition is coming on full time. And before it was laying there dormant, it was sort of there, but it wasn't fully on. And when you have a spiritual awakening, it's like wide open. And what I learned over the years is that knowing my intuition better, not only has it helped in so many ways in terms of healing and manifestation, most importantly manifestation, but it's also helped a lot with understanding my true intuitive gifts. And so one of my gifts is that I'm an energy reader. Now, before I would just say that I was either an empath, but I didn't know I was an empath, or I would say that I feel everybody's everything and I can't figure out how to control this. And that was my words. Those were literally my words. How do I manage my energy? How do I control my energy? Normal people don't think like that. And so over the years, I learned that one of my true gifts is I'm an energy reader. I can read people's energy very well. Now, on the other spectrum, one of my other gifts that I'll share with you is I'm an intuitive channeler. Now, over the years, this really was something that I've always had, but I don't think I fully activated it until later in my spiritual awakening. But I've always had this part of me where I've channeled poetry, I've channeled stories, I've channeled weird writings. And when I had my first awakening in like 2011, this came off really bizarre and weird. Like the filter and the channel was kind of distorted and I was trying to piece it together. And then the more I worked on my intuition and started realizing, it's not really about riddles and poetry and all of these things, the message started getting clearer and clearer and clearer. And that was because I worked on my intuition. And so a big missing piece for so many people in their spiritual awakening journey that you're not going to hear in the galactic channelings and you're not going to hear on the angel numbers and the fucking numerology guides that, yes, I know I have a numerology guide, but what you're not going to hear is to work on your intuition. And that's exactly what you need to do. I wish someone would have told me that because it would have saved me so many years of feeling crazy. So many moments of anxiety and overwhelm and turmoil and just trying to figure out what was happening to me. Because feeling everybody's everything as an empath is not an easy road to navigate. And that's why I created the energy management toolkit, because that goes in depth on how you can properly understand your energy body. Not just your Merkaba, not just your light body and ascension and flying off to 5D consciousness. It teaches you the practical ways to manage your energy. Now, In terms of the second lesson that I learned, I really want to say here that over the years, I learned a lot about spiritual alignment. What I've learned over the years, and this is a funny analogy that I was recently talking to my love about. We were discussing spirituality and philosophy just over morning breakfast. And basically, it was the concept of this onion and how most people are viewing life from like the furthest, like the crisp part of the onion. And that's how most people live their entire lives. And what happens with spiritual awakening is you realize that there's layers and layers and layers of that onion. And you've got to this point of awareness where you know that if you get to the core of the onion, you're seeing yourself beyond conditioning, beyond everything that everyone's fed you. You're seeing yourself beyond the veil of pure conditioning. And this is spiritual alignment. And at the core of spiritual awakening is coming back home to our personal spiritual alignment. I did not have the words for this when I first awakened. And it took me many, many years and a lot of trial and error and courses and masterminds and whatever to really properly understand what the heck is spiritual alignment. Spiritual alignment is activating your path of least resistance because it is you beyond conditioning. It is your authentic self, your pure authentic self. It is your connection to higher truth. It is your connection to higher consciousness. It is also your connection to your higher self. And so one of the best ways to understand yourself better is to know that what your spiritual alignment is telling you is coming from your higher self, your spirit guides, right? And so in the beginning, we're often taught, listen to your angels, listen to your spirit guides. And all of these things are just different names for the same thing. It's your spiritual alignment. And your spiritual alignment is influenced by your intuition. So why is your intuition so powerful? Your intuition's powerful because it's tapping into your spiritual alignment. I feel this in my core as truth, that is what is occurring. And the concept of why we try to seek enlightenment, seek nirvana, is because we are lacking that spiritual alignment piece. And so when we know our spiritual alignment, not only do we feel like we're in alignment with our dharma, but we are also walking in our dharma, and we start to listen to that space within ourselves. And then we take action from that space. And that is a journey. It is a pure journey of spiritual growth when it comes to understanding that. But the hugest thing is most of all, your relationship to higher self. So the best way to do that is to really look at spiritual alignment from the lens of connecting to your higher self. The next lesson and the third lesson that I want to share is, in the beginning, it feels really confusing. It feels overwhelming. And it's often a place where you feel very alone or isolated, or like no one understands you or what you're going through. And the chances are they don't. And the reality is your subconscious is urging you to go within to reconnect to yourself and to reconnect to your spiritual alignment most of all. And so when it comes to looking at this from a lens of, I feel overwhelmed by my external reality, I feel lost and confused what is happening to me, all of these things that a spiritual beginner will often feel, this is a sign to find ways and practices to go more inward. It is a sign that you need to work on your internal state of consciousness. That is why you feel this way. I wouldn't have known this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, because what I know now is that it was always a sign of recognizing that I needed to connect within. And the moment I started connecting within, things started to make more sense. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to looking at connecting within, I want you to think about 3 key areas. And this is how I personally see it have seen it over the years. Is the 3 areas that you want to be focused on is your mind, body, spirit, rituals. You want to focus on your mind, your mindset, your internal state of consciousness. What is going on in your mindset? And are you connected to that? The next thing you want to think about is your body. Do you connect within to your body? Do you do practices that get you into your body and get you more present, more aware, more aligned? This will help you regulate your nervous system and help you get more clear on the present moment. Do you have practices that connect to your soul and reconnect you to soul? Because this will show you your intuition, your spiritual alignment, and your higher self. Because reconnecting to soul is about connecting within a spiritual practice, within a meditation, a visualization, a guided meditation, and so forth. It's about connecting within through journaling or connecting within through channeling. Whatever the modality is, it doesn't matter. It's about your connection to soul, your connection to higher truth. When you start to understand yourself better, everything starts to become so much easier on your spiritual awakening journey. One thing I've learned that a lot of people have problems with is when it comes to the symptoms, when it comes to all of this upheaval in their life. Like, the best way to understand yourself as you're going through so much change is to go within and start to not just do the inner work, but to know yourself better, because that's what spiritual awakening is truly about. It's about reclaiming your authentic self. So if we were to go back to the onion, it's about you finding the core of the onion. It's about you coming back home to yourself, if we want to be so cliche and cheesy, but that is what it's about. So those are the 3 top lessons that I would give you if I were a beginner to spiritual awakening. And I really, truly hope that you can take from these lessons whatever you need, whatever seeds you need to be planted in your mind, whatever guidance you need forward to allow your intuition, your soul to really pick up what I'm putting down, and to let yourself be real and honest with yourself about what you need to give yourself as you go through a spiritual awakening, because this is not a question we're often taught. To close this out, the number one thing I want to say here is, if you are having a really hard time navigating your spiritual awakening and you feel really lost and confused, I highly recommend that you download my spiritual awakening roadmap. I have broken it down into 5 core phases so that you can understand where you are at on the journey, what you can start to do, and some easy tips to help you get started. So if you're looking at me like, wow, this sounds great all and all, Ashley, but I don't understand what the heck to even get started with. This is like overwhelming. I highly recommend download the roadmap, fill it out, look at the workbook, see what phase you're in, think about it, really embody that archetype, go deeper into it, and you will find more peace of mind. You will find more confidence. You will find more ease. You will find more alignment. And that's really what it's about. All right, so I hope you deeply enjoyed this episode. If you like our videos, please hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.